Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I'm a teacher, so I am punctual enough. So thank you very much for that opportunity. Now I'm going to be so brief. Now, under the Ministry of Education, I would love Honorable Ezra, my deputy, please rise up. He's my deputy. So, starting with our first semester, that was the Trinity semester, we were able to have various things. One of them was we tried to engage different demonstrators, including the DOSA was so helpful to us, and our DVC academics, based on how far and how we could help ourselves and help manage these issues in campus. So we found out we came up with different ideas on how to manage the issue of missing marks, which was a big challenge. We tried to work hand in hand with different MPs. I can see Honorable Owen is smiling. Yes, he really worked so much in this. So in issue of missing marks, we really tried and managed somehow a large number of students, especially as we witnessed those who were graduating. The majority of them were worked on so much. Now, how we managed to do this was coordinating with different faculties and different MPs and administrators. Now you find out that most of the marks can be there on, the lecturers have the marks, but when you enter the system, they are not having the marks, you get. So they keep on pushing students, go to this, go to MIS, go to the faculty, and yet most times it is the lecturer who is to upload the marks and students see the marks. Then a few students who were unable to see their marks, right now, a few students, for example, in my faculty, are students whose lecturers left the university. Now you find that it's a little bit hard to follow up, but though in a process, they're working on them. Then the second thing is we're also able to work on and achieve the agrotat examinations, especially those who missed the examinations. We're able to work hand in hand with the administration, and just of recent, this semester, we also saw a few students who were able to have their work on their exams. Then on the Guild Fund, in our very first semester, we were able to give award 45 needy students who were able to benefit from this Guild Fund. Yeah. And I remember we gave them 100,000. Yes, then in our second semester, we were able to give 25 students, but we gave them this time around 200,000. So this semester, as you see, the trend is going. So this semester, we really hope for the very best, and trust me, you will remember this 25th Guild government because of this semester. Thank you so much. So then my last thing is on the timetable. We're able to work on the timetable so much in a way that, unfortunately, this semester, as we all witnessed that the alpha was being changed. The Minister of ICT will tell us more about that. So that's why we found that at the beginning of the semester, we delayed a little bit to begin with, have our lectures. But initially, all other semesters, we get the timetable early, both lecture timetable and the examination timetable. So I really think we have worked very well. But this is not a complete report because we have not yet handed over. And we believe for very more activities that are coming. And I think I will wrap up everything after we get the last from our minister. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and I remain Jonathan Okello. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Minister in charge of Education Affairs. Students, I hope you have been paying attention. If there is anything the line minister has missed, please, when that opportunity reaches, task him to explain to you, but you can take up your seat. Next in line, let's have the Minister, Internal Affairs.
Praise God. The people, you're so cold. My name is Mzahura Owen, Ivan, MP, School of Business, and Minister of Internal Affairs. Mine is a brief one. I'm just going to give you a brief of what the ministry is supposed to do and what it does. Our role as the Ministry of Internal Affairs is to organize different projects for the government and to work hand in hand with other ministries and the Office of the Prime Minister to ensure that all activities and things in campus are moving on well. So some of the activities we had as the Ministry of Internal Affairs, we had the bazaar. We had 2 bazaars, which we used to collect some money from those different companies that were coming in. Some of you are seeing these companies and you didn't know what they were coming to do. Yes, they were coming to give you services, but we were as well benefiting from them as the university. So the money collected from the bazaars is added to the Ministry of Education. Like he was saying, this semester, you people are going to be very happy because the package he has is so good. Then the ministry as well, like I told you, works hand in hand with other ministries to make sure that the well-being of the students in campus is good. So we have really worked, we have done a lot. You have seen the different activities, the cultural gala, you've seen the tuition run, you've seen the interfaculty. So every activity you see on campus, organized by the Guild, at least you should know that the Ministry of Internal Affairs has a hand. We as well work hand in hand with the Ministry of Welfare. I won't say much. When she comes, she will talk more about that. But as the Ministry of Education said earlier, we have not yet handed over. We are still trying to push for the different activities that we had in the lineup and to have more innovations made. For example, if people see the other Guild Square is not good enough, but we are pushing for it as well, together with the Office of the Prime Minister. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. That's all we had for.
Thank you so much, Honorable Owen, for that elaborative report. And I hope students still kept on paying attention. Let's have Minister of Finance. Please step forward. And as we know, she's the custodian of the Guild funds. And this is a very sensitive ministry. And I hope that she can today provide a report that speaks much of her office. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Yes, right before you is the finance ministers of the 25th Guild government, and we would like to read for you a brief report of the finance department. As the head of the finance department of the Guild government, after every government is sworn in, Parliament gets in to have the vetting of the cabinet ministers because they as well contribute to the budgeting process of the government. And after all that had been done, we managed to distribute the funds to the various ministries, and that's why you've been able to see them carry out all the necessary activities in our entire term of office. And we've been able to manage those funds well. That's why each ministry has managed to execute the different tasks they had to that were in line with the President's manifesto. And as they are going to be coming here, they are going to be able to speak more about those activities that they've been carrying on. Yeah, thank you so much.
Honorable Tasha, before you leave, in your communication you said that the government was given a particular figure. Were you able to inform the students how much they were given as a government, the figure? Because it's very important as these line ministries come in to present what they have been able to achieve. The students need to know how much was allocated to the Guild government.
All right. We allocated funds amounting to 216,734,400 Uganda shillings. Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please, you can take up your seats. Hello. Why the uproar? I think we needed to know the figures. It's very key. We need to know the figures. Let me have the Minister of Welfare step forward to give us her report.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Atugabire Magdalene, commonly known as Maggie, and I am MP Residence Female and Minister of Welfare under the 25th Guild Government, and I work hand in hand with Gordon Chimera, who is MP Engineering and Deputy Minister of Welfare. Yes, so as welfare speaks for itself, we're in charge of your well-being as students and basically your life around the university. First things first, we had a lot of partnerships with the health ministry for the health weeks and also for the health inspections. I don't know if any of you were able to see, especially those that eat from the canteens down. We had a number of health inspections to do with our food eating areas. And I believe we could have seen some changes this semester. Some, actually not even some, but most of the canteens were renovated. People started putting on uniforms, so certain rules were being adhered down there in our eating areas, and we're very glad to say that that's an improvement that has been made. Also, yes, for the halls of residence, one of the other major things that has happened is our computer rooms are functioning once again. Those who sleep in Sabiti and in Sabambi know that our computer rooms are functioning once again. Yes, the computers are not yet on, but it's a process. They're going to service them, but at least the computer rooms are open for people to go, read, and do the work they need to do, both for the female and the male. Also, I can comfortably talk about the television screens that finally came, but I think the Minister of ICT will talk about them more. Yes, to do with our dining, I think we've seen an improvement in the electricity flow and the sockets in the dining. These days, even when they go off, they are fixed faster than they always were. The delay basically between them being fixed and them working is no longer there as it used to be. And some more other changes that will come. Some things I can't mention them until they are there, but they're in the pipeline, they're coming. Yes, I think that's really been it. But above all the events that you've been seeing the Guild having, anything to do with your well-being, your enjoyment of those events, it's been the Minister of Welfare to make sure, even these snacks, we work hand in hand with the speaker, to make sure that you have something in your tummies. Yes, thank you so much for listening. God bless you all.
Thank you so much, Honorable Maggie and your counterpart. We'll then have the Minister of Sports step forward and give us your report.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity. Good afternoon, everyone. Wasonga John Collins, the Minister for Sports. My deputy is called Carol, but unfortunately she's not around. But I'll take you through the process. First and foremost, I'm very pleased to be here to present to you this. As the Ministry of Sports, we managed to revive the interfaculties, which we last had in 2019. That was before COVID. It was a successful one. We had various sports. Unlike before, where we only had football, I think. We had basketball, netball, and football. We had awards, medals, we had a cash prize fee and a trophy. That was one of our successes. Also, we had this was for the sportsmen. We managed to work on their welfare. For example, right now, gone are the days, the accommodations for the sportsmen, their jerseys and whatsoever were less compared to right now. We had an improvement. I think with that, I'll say thank you.
Thank you so much. the Minister in charge of Sports Affairs for that report. We'll then now move to the Ministry of Culture. But I have been reliably informed that Honorable Joanne Itungo is going to step forward because she worked hand in hand with this minister and she will give us a report. Honorable Joanne, please step forward.
Good afternoon to us all. I happen to stand in for the Ministry of Culture. The minister is called Wire Ivan. I think the raincoat team on the way. So, as the Ministry of Culture, we managed to organize the Culture Gala, which happened last week, that was Saturday. And we worked hand in hand with the different cultural associations, which were 11 in number. Some did not participate, but we managed to have a powerful culture gala. We are able to award the best dancers and then the winners who are yet to receive their prizes. It was a very colorful one, and many cultures did participate. The Acholis, the people from Lango, the people from the Wamasabas, you all participated, and I'm sure we all enjoyed it this Saturday. It was an outgoing event. So I would encourage all of us next time, where we've not done better, next time also the different associations that didn't turn up for the participating, kindly have the best leaders in your different associations such that next year we are able to participate. This is not only for the culture, but for the unity of the students in the university. I thank you all.
Thank you so much, Honorable Joanne, for that report. She's a lady who loves culture, as you can see. She walks as a true African woman. Let's have a minister in charge of gender.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity. Good afternoon to you all. I'm Nashemeza Angela Tugume, and I was your Minister for Gender and Social Affairs, together with Abura Emmanuel as my deputy. Under our guild calendar, we had a number of projects which were simultaneously followed during the Trinity semester, beginning with a project on anti-homosexuality campaign, which we carried out together with the Ruth Nkoyoyo Wellness Center and the chaplaincy, which I appreciate so much for having supported us. We hoped to attain a number of achievements, that is to create awareness among our students in regards to homosexuality. We also hoped to have an engaging symposium, which was scheduled for that week in July, where we had a number of speakers and facilitators that were able to engage the students and also have a mental health campaign together with the Ministry of Health. We were also able to extend our work to different communities around us, where my deputy headed a number of projects in Buyikwe, where he came up with a session of Pad a Girl campaign, where 1,000 girls in Buyukwe from 3 schools were able to get help from that campaign, and 35 staff members. Through the same projects, we were able to come up with partnerships like YouGaNet, which was able to come here and help different students in different social campaigns, such as HIV. We were able to come up with advocacy of HIV students, HIV help to people who have, and how to extend our help to HIV people and people living in our communities. Yes, thank you. It has been a vibrant ministry working together with the guild officials, who I would like to thank very much for enabling us go through everything we've been able to go through. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you so much, Honorable Angela, together with your counterpart. Let's have next the Minister of Information and Public Relations, Honorable Constance.
Okay, praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Okay, my name is Constance Ichuma Sere, and I serve as the Minister of Information and Public Relations. And my deputy is absent because he's away on official duties. He's attending one of the public relations symposium, so both of us couldn't be away for this engagement. The achievements we have so far managed to get as a ministry, by the time we came into office around late January, the pages for the guild government had 2.8K followers, and as we speak right now, we have 5.5K followers. And basically, the importance of this ministry is to do the role of the indoor journalists within the organization, and the organization is the guild government. So basically, all of you, I guess, follow the guild government, and you do see the various information we do post as a ministry, and we also improved on the community engagements. Gone are the days we used to think that public relations is just about posting on social media and let it be there. But in circumstances where someone is making an inquiry, we always take effort to respond back. And if we do not have reliable information, we always promise to follow back, to follow the situation and do the needful. Basically, the importance of this ministry is to be in everyone's business. That's why you'll find the Ministry of Information in the sports department, in internal affairs, in EC, because our role is basically to give publicity about the guild events within the university. And if all of you follow UCU Focus, which is an indoor media house within UCU under the School of Journalism, you do see that a number of bulletins are always got from the guild government. That is how far the guild government has made a good relationship with the media houses within the campus, and we easily avail them with information. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Constance. I must say that that particular ministry has been cooling fires out for us. You know, as students, we tend to so much follow what goes on in the guild government. And there are scenarios whereby perhaps a student does not have the real facts on ground, and they take on social media to vent their anger. But that ministry has helped us a lot. The way they have been relating and responding to the students' concerns has been quite remarkable. Thank you very much, Honorable Constance. Let's have Minister of Health. We shall have Honorable Maggie stepping in for Honorable Vicky, who is in for her paper. She will be joining us at exactly 4. Please hurry.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, once again. I will be speaking as Honorable Victoria today. So when you see me, just see her, but in my flesh. Yes, so these are her list of events. I'll start with the Easter semester. She had first aid services during the interfaculties. You could all see that there was adequate first aid for each of the games. Then health inspections that happened both in the Easter and Trinity semester. Then the UCU activation led by UGANET, where the Ministry of Health was also a partner, as earlier mentioned by the Ministry of Gender. Then also different meetings with Alan Galpin to talk about the complaints from students and see a way forward on how to improve Alan Galpin, especially in the next financial year and the next year. Then events in the Advent semester, which is this semester. Once again, we had inspections of the diners and the canteens at the beginning of the semester, and like the Minister of Welfare earlier mentioned, I think we have seen some of the improvements and we shall continue to see them as we move forward. Health Awareness Week happened with different activities, both Trinity and Advent semester. We saw TT vaccination, blood donation, HIV testing, optical testing, menstrual hygiene education, and so many other different things that are happening in the health tent. And I hope each and every student was able to take part in that. Then there was a health talk that happened in Nkoyoyo to create more awareness about the different things surrounding our health, not only about me getting sick, malaria, all that, but even your mental health, your social health, economic health, social health. That was all talked about during these talks. We had also a mini concert by AYF that was put here to draw people spiritually to God, because spiritual health is also important. As students of UC, we do foundations and learn about health and wholeness. So that was where they were drawing it from. Then last but not least, there's been a team of social behavior communication change that has been put into place that will be helping students who are facing different challenges, especially in transitioning to campus or stress, but even continuing students who are reaching higher levels of education that have more stress that come with them. Then they also worked hand in hand with the para-counselors to make sure that the university environment for the students is able to be one that is habitable. Yes, so the Minister of Health was grateful for working with each of the students and for the different help rendered by each of the guild officials and the administration of UCU. Special thanks go to Alan Galpin administration also, and the student body, who are the people that we came to serve. God bless you all. This report was compiled by Nantambi Victoria, Minister of Health, 25th Guild Government.
Thank you so much, Honorable Maggie, for stepping in on behalf of Honorable Vicky, who is having her paper. Let's have the Minister of ICT, Honorable Isaac Arrow.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. My name is Isaac Arrow Mayol. I'm the Minister for ICT and MP for International Students. Under my tenure as the Minister for ICT, UCU as a university was ranked as a top e-learning center in Uganda. Under my tenure too as the Minister for ICT, we were able to procure new 3 televisions. One is going to be in Ankara, another one in PDR, another one in Honors College. Then finally, as a Minister for ICT, whoever is going to complete campus next year, you're going to be clearing on Alpha. We shall no longer need your presence in campus. Personally, I'm not from Uganda, so I will not be needed to be in Uganda to clear here. Then all the televisions for the DSTV, all the way from January to December, all the money has been paid for and the services are up and running. Then the televisions on the different blocks are up and running. I've seen the presidential aspirants, I've seen your posters up there. So, what an honor, Mr. President, to be your Minister for ICT.
Thank you very much. As you have heard, it's my understanding that the Ministry of ICT is a planned ministry. It has planned kids. It is taking us to greater heights. Lastly, let's have the Minister in charge of Foreign Affairs. I shall call on the Prime Minister to step in. All our ministers are out of the country, and we shall have someone step in on their behalf.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. As earlier said, all our activities run in ministries, and I will speak for and on behalf of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. They sent me their comprehensive report, so much detailed, but the language it has is so much international as a Ministry of Foreign Affairs, but where I don't put it out well, maybe any of the guild officials will clarify because they have participated in these activities. The first one is the Entrepreneurship Summit, which this one I was part. I think we took, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs took a full bus of students, and most of them were from the business school to motive for a conference or a summit that took a full day. And it was so much helpful to people who are in that line of entrepreneurship. Then there's the annual Mwalimu Julius Nyerere Symposium, which some of our guild officials equally attended, including the speaker, which I believe when the guest speakers get to talk to us, they will tell us how our students performed, our student leaders. Then on top of the annual symposium, there was also the guild training, which was equally done by Julius Nyerere Leadership Center, and most of our guild officials represented, which I clearly remember, like Joan and Speaker, Courage, name it. Then we also hosted students from Dartmouth College in the States, and when they came, I managed to be part of the team that welcomed them. They were here for a certain project to do with solar, and so we welcomed them, led by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and were together with them till they finished their project and went back to their respective place of residence. Then there's handover for international students, which I equally attended at Kingdom View, and it was also a success, led by Chituka, the Minister of Foreign Affairs. The Deputy Speaker was as well there, and yeah. Then cultural exchange program, which is connected with the International Students Week. I think it was the first of its kind, and as a government, that is one of the activities we are so much proud of. We had an International Students Week, which wasn't happening in the past. And through this ministry, different countries participated and competed in different things, even sports, and it is in the same week that we received our colleagues from Kampala campus who were as well international students, and we had an exchange. It was quite a good one. Then yesterday, as I was sharing with the ministers of foreign affairs before they came for this, as they were preparing, they equally informed me about a certain launch in the partnership they built with that school, Dartmouth College, where they are advocating or talking to the administration so that we could equally always send some of our students to that college for an exchange program. And they are confident that it is in the pipeline and it will work out. Lastly, here they call it bilateral relations and diplomatic engagements and security cooperation. Through this ministry, still something I've seen myself, they've held spaces, that is Twitter spaces. People who were here last semester, still with them, we had something in line with security with the MPs, non-residents, where we made rounds. We also took advantage of the community worship platform to inform these students about the serious security threats or how they were unfairly taking property from some of our students, which equally helped. And in that very week, before we did it, we had received 12 cases of stolen laptops in the previous week. And we started a campaign the next Monday. And since then, that semester, we didn't have another case because the tricks that these thieves were using, we managed to discover them and they were put out there. That is it from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Prime Minister, for that detailed report. We'll then have the Chairperson, Electoral Commission. Please step forward. This is an independent body, and we all know that right now they have a pivotal role to ensure that they deliver to us a free and fair elections. So in 2 minutes, please.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Akoreja Andrew. I am the chairperson of the Electoral Commission. The vice chairperson couldn't make it because she had some other engagement, but she sends her apologies. Now, and maybe if there are other members of the Electoral Commission present, please wave to the people so that they see this is our time, where people are supposed to know you in case of anything. Anyone? Oh, there is one person. Yeah, so as the Electoral Commission, as stated, it's an independent body. Of course, that's stipulated under Article 79 of the Guild Constitution. Now, our work started in the previous semester when we held a by-election. That was an election of theology and special needs that went on successfully. We got the different honorable members, and the member of theology, I think she's off-SEM, but I think Honorable Nomwes Gwanobo, who is the MP for special needs, is around. Is he around? So those were the people that we first brought into power. That was the first election that we organized. That was last semester. And this semester, it has been an intense one because we have a general election, and the general election has been taking place basing on the roadmap that was shared, and I hope everyone has a copy for those who are interested. The process started on the date of 16th of October, 2023, when we launched the roadmap. And after that, people were given a chance to apply for the different positions of which they applied. Then we did vetting of MPs, and there was also faculty vetting for the different presidential candidates. Then we released the list of the successful candidates, and we opened campaigns. That was on Saturday, and people have been campaigning. And most of the people that you can see here are aspirants. And I personally encouraged them to come and attend so that they can borrow one or two things. Because personally, you see, let me be honest with you. If today it was my president, Mr. Dumba Timothy, and he told me he wanted to appoint me as a chairperson of the Electoral Commission, I wouldn't allow, because I've seen what it takes. It is a hard job. It is a hard one. But I must thank the JNLC. They trained, I think personally, I took part in their training, in the conference that was organized. And I think they prepared me for this time. They prepared me for this time because a lot has been happening. And I must applaud Doctor and your team. Thank you very much. Personally, I appreciate, because conducting an election is not an easy thing, because this is politics and you're dealing with politicians. So a lot of force and a lot of tricks have to come in, but I must thank my team once again, the commissioners and all the members of the Electoral Commission. Thank you for doing our job, our mandate, because that's what we are supposed to be doing. And the guild officials for guiding us and helping us while we were doing our different activities. So basically, that is it from the Electoral Commission. The process is still going on, and tomorrow we shall have a debate for the people contesting for MPs. I think the communication has been passed on, and I hope you people are ready. Otherwise, I wish you all the best. In case there are any questions, time for reactions will come, and I am ready to give answers. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chairperson EC. I often joke with him and tell him you're the gentleman who is responsible for ensuring that I leave office when I still need to be here. How I wish he would push the elections up to next year. But you know, even the best dancer gets to leave the floor, and we can't wait. Let's have the Minister of Presidency stepping forward in 2 minutes, please. In the interest of time, please be brief.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Good afternoon and praise the Lord. Good afternoon. All right, my name is Christy Asimwe, and I have been privileged to serve as the Minister for the Presidency, supporting His Excellency Timothy Dumba, as well as the Vice President, Her Excellency Melissa Kamikazi. And here is a brief summary of the activities that have been held within this office. Firstly, under this office, we have had the fuel training organized, and we have been able to run that. That was done last semester. The fuel training, thank you. I'll basically say that the 25th Guild government, really under the leadership of His Excellency Timothy Dumba, is really passionate about not just being a group of impactful leaders, but building such leaders up so that when we leave, they are able to take our place, but also not just here, but throughout the country and throughout the world, wherever they go. And so the Fuel Program is an initiative in which students have been empowered to provide solutions to problems in society, not waiting for the leaders in power, but providing the solutions ourselves. So we had training that dealt with topics like personal leadership, team building, working with authorities, communication and student leadership within UCU and outside UCU. And it was a very successful training, and I believe that we're going to continue to see the fruits of that within this university. Secondly, we organized the first Guild presidential address that UCU has seen, that happened this very semester. And in this, the Guild president was able to provide the UCU community with information concerning the progress of the Guild government, as well as the activities that we still had to complete. Third, under the office of the Vice President, we had the Association Week, and this was aimed at empowering the associations within our university so they would be able to provide the services that they have for UCU, and also to invite people to join in. We also had a number of associations join the team of those which were already in place. That is the fitness club. We have the Gavo Club, the UCU Coffee Association, the Patriotism Club, and the Bwera Igomba Kabura Students Association. These are new associations that have recently been added. In addition to all this, we have really just kept in touch with the Uganda UCU administration. We've kept in touch with universities outside here and ensure that we learn from one another and represent UCU students to the best of our ability. And we have been privileged to serve. Thank you so much, and may the Lord bless you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Christie, for that elaborative report. This now takes me to call our CJ to come and say a word or two. In 1 minute, thank you.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. I didn't expect to deliberate during this annual General Assembly. Well, the opportunity is here. My name is Francis Biarohanga. I've been serving, and I'm still serving, as the Chief Justice of the Guild Tribunal. We are mandated under Article 67 of the Guild Constitution of Uganda Christian University to deliberate and solve disputes between students. So if at all you ever have a scuffle or under the jurisdiction of the UCU Guild Tribunal, you have an issue that you want to bring before us, you can file your case with us and we'll be able to deliberate and issue a judgment independently. As part of the initiative to ensure that the law is shared among different faculties and schools in Uganda Christian University, we organized a Justice Week where we had what we call the legal master classes. So 2 master classes were organized, one for the School of Health Sciences, so that is School of Nursing and Health Sciences, where we had one of the law students in UCU deliberate upon the topic of medical negligence. So this was in the initiative of sharing knowledge from students of School of Law to aspects of the law that are of interest to students that are studying other areas in Uganda Christian University. The other masterclass was held for students in the Department of Computing, Design and Technology, which was also rendered by a student who is an alumnus of UCU Law School, and the topic was basically cyber law and international and intellectual property law. So this student was able to give the students of ICT an insight into what is the detail of intellectual property law, how can they benefit from their innovations, from their ideas, and how can they ensure that before they disclose any intricate details of how their software works, they have non-disclosure agreements and they're able to benefit from their own works. Because we've seen powerful corporations in Uganda steal works of students that innovate within the university. So we need them to understand the laws that protect their innovations. Future master classes will be held as we hand over to the next Guild Tribunal, because we have a master class being organized for School of Journalism on the law of defamation, and also the School of Business, especially around ensuring that students understand how to use the online business registration system that has been implemented by URSB, and also the IFRIS system, that is the online business receipting system that is being implemented by URA. So since we are having internet technology taking up different legal processes, we want students of UCU to acclimatize themselves with the different processes that you follow when you're registering a company and filing your tax returns. With that, I would like to rest my case. Thank you.
Thank you very much, CJ. I believe that all these ministries have presented their different reports. However, allow me to have one representative amongst the members of parliament, especially for non-residents constituency and then residents. We'll have Honorable Ngia give us a brief report about how these MPs have been able to deliver to the students' body on quite a number of issues. Please step forward.
Good afternoon. My name is Mangu. I'm the MP. I'm one of the MPs non-residents. I have served in this post together with Honorable Shonariko, Honorable Tugume Angela Nashemeza, and Honorable Itungo Joan. The four of us, as we came in power, we had different things we promised, different manifestos, but what you could all remember is we stemmed them mostly on security. So what we have done, we did this mainly last semester, as the Prime Minister had elaborated. There was rampant theft, especially given that we had new students coming in, and some of those who, of course, those who were exempted were staying outside. And unfortunately, it's those who were facing the problem of the theft. So myself, with the Prime Minister and very many other guild officials who I would like to thank, went to police and we requested that they come up with guidelines. Guidelines which were to help the students, understand how we could keep our own property, which responsibility we could play to keep our own property safe. We did class rounds for at least each and every class. Those who were on semester last sem could bear us witness. We also came here, it was on during community worship, and we spoke to students. Still, we were assisted by a fundata, that is the OC here of UCU Police. We think we have done a great job there. I know you people still are the ones meant to judge us. However, we have tried our best in that line of security. We have also been speaking with hostels. This is something that that is in the pipeline with assistance from the Minister of Presidency. We are setting standards. We have drafted standards that we have set that hostels are going to have to comply with. These standards are mainly on security and health. So even when we leave, we are still going to leave an impact. And we hope that we have done great for you people who sent us in Parliament to represent you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Ngia, for giving us a report on how far the different MPs representing non-residents have fared. I may not be in position to give all the MPs to present their reports, but on behalf of the MPs that I lead in the House, I must say that I thank God that my leadership as a speaker wouldn't have been easy if the MPs gave me hard time. They have been very, very hardworking. They have respect for authority. They are very diligent. They are always very available. Whenever I have called upon them to help me on something, they have always come in. And most importantly, whenever we have had debates in the House, they have deliberated on issues affecting students' welfare. I want to attest to it that I am leading a team of young men and women who are so much passionate, who are so much interested in advocating and pushing for pro-students policies and ensuring that the welfare of the students of Uganda Christian University is taken care of. We'll be giving you a report that will be circulated in our different social media platforms, and you people will be able to understand what we have been able to achieve as a house. At this juncture, in the interest of time, allow me to invite our dear Guild President, His Excellency Dumba Timothy. He is my president. I serve under his leadership. He has been and he is our vision bearer, and we have come this far because of his constant guidance. Mr. President, the floor is yours. Please step forward. The Vice President is joining the President. Uncle Tom seems to be the bodyguard.
Our invited guests from the Julius Nyerere Leadership Center, the Directorate of Student Affairs, the Speaker of the House, the Sitting House, my Vice President, the Prime Minister and the entire Guild government, plus the students' body. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Praise the Lord. It's a cold afternoon. Allow my voice to provide you with a warmth. This afternoon, today, we're having our annual General Assembly, the second one, and the last one for this government. And the title of my communication or speech is The Message I Have Sent. So as you listen and as you follow, that is the title of the speech, The Message I Have Sent. But before I give you this message, someone whispered in my ear, and I should allow the aspirants, the future that is here with us, to stand up such that we welcome you in this through you, Madam Speaker.
Well, I was going to give them an opportunity when Madame Dosa comes in, but I think it can wait till then, if you don't mind.
Can wait?
Yeah.
All right. That is okay. Allow me to proceed with my communication. During my campaigns, I met with the international students community, and as we were campaigning, they were asking, usually politicians leave us behind, they ignore us the moment you get the office. Their president told me, as international students, we don't have an office to report to. The office is now there, under the Dosa's office. I continued discussing with them on a number of issues. We had a week, we had a culture gala to celebrate them and bring them aboard. When I used to campaign to the law students, one time I was in those hostels around Tupendane and those hostels in that area. One of the students broke into tears when I asked how she was doing, and it was because of a missing mark. This was a third-year law student at the time, and now they are finalists. They were scared of the languages of those course units that were not clear in their first year, and now their mark was missing. They did not know what to do. And now that is no longer an issue. Missing marks is no longer an issue not only in the School of Law, but across the faculties of the institution. And very soon, we are rolling out the missing marks forms to ensure that this issue goes to death and does not come back. I used to talk to the sports people, and they were like, you politicians just come campaign, tell us things, and then when you get positions, you don't even attend our games, you don't support us in any way. I can speak for many. I can speak for this government and the people seated here with us, that not only did we step in when last semester their meals were no longer being provided, they started being provided. This semester, when their allowances were not given, they started getting allowances. We've donated different equipment, especially balls to the football team, that is a girls' football team. We've attended several games, and I think, Right Honorable Don, you can bear me witness. So we have moved. People of Ankara and PDR used to say that we are the forgotten halls of residence. You people only stop in campus. You don't care what happens outside. When you get power, what happens to us then? And now, as the Minister of ICT has reported, and I'm sure the MP of residence would say, they now have a screen both in Ankara and PDR plus Honors College with DSTV, and Wi-Fi is going there as well. When during campaigns, when they used to say that you're here with us in campaigns, but after you're done getting the position, you won't talk to us, we won't hear from you anymore. I told them that I'll be back. I'll be here always. I'll be here to consult from you. I'll be here for us to share each week, all the time. We did that, and several people can bear us witness that we have come back in different associations to hear from the people, to hear what they're saying, and for us to attend to them as necessary. Thank you. All this we have done with obstacles. Obstacles in the way. In modern history, this is the guild government that has had the smallest budget, but we haven't given an excuse. We have had change of the Director of Studies of Students' Affairs, change in DOSA thrice, 3 times in the 10 months that we have served, but that has not been an excuse. We have had, in modern history, the shortest term of service because we were petitioned and we spent so many months in court battles, budget delayed. The entire first sem we worked without a budget, but that has not been an excuse. I thought that perhaps pulling off and out-achieving everyone that I could think of would be a remedy to the gap that we were feeling. That maybe if I pile up the achievements of this government, we can prove a point or feel fulfilled at the end of the day. But I realized I did not feel fulfilled after all these different achievements. And neither did the student's body, because most of these things people end up forgetting anyway. So I'm like, what is the matter then? What matters to me? What matters to you? What matters to all of us? This is the message I'm trying to send. I'm a student pursuing Bachelor's of Science in Information Technology, the first IT student to be a guild president. In a line of guild presidents dominated by business students, law students, and theologians. But does it really matter the course you do for you to lead? I wanted to prove that point. Does it matter the course you do? That is one. It doesn't matter the tribe. It doesn't matter the sex. It doesn't matter where you come from for you to lead. Most of my government officials don't even know the tribe I belong to. And I also don't know the tribes they come from. In our government, we only know 3 tribes. I think, Right Honorable Musa, you can tell them the 3 tribes that are in this government. The tribe of branding experience, of redefining impact. Yes. Yes, the leaders are the chairperson, Electoral Commission, and the Chief Justice. You're welcome. We only know 3 tribes in our government, and those are the tribes that have been informing what we do. In those tribes, we have clans, and that is all that we know. That is one. Number 2, I wanted to show I am the first skilled president. The moment I won the election, thank God, I called for applications for people to apply to become ministers, to become judicial officers, to be on the EC. No other president has done that before. I wanted to show that your campaign team does not have to be the government afterwards. That if we wanted to redefine impact, if we wanted to leave an impact, then we had to make sure that we were working with the right people. So I ensured that these people were not my friends before. Some of them were on the opposite camp. Others were not involved in politics. But I wanted to surround myself with the people who are willing to go beyond and above for the students. That where I would fail, where I would compromise, they wouldn't. Thank you so much for that effort. A brilliant team it is. Number 3, I never wanted us to descend to the politics that we hear in other universities. The politics of division, the politics of it's either me or you. The politics of the administration is against us somehow. The politics of you have to push the students' agenda regardless of what anyone else says. I told people, and I stood on the belief that if we ever thought of win-win, if we ever, before we present something, if we ever weighed the stakeholders, how does each one benefit, then I think we'd have much more achievements than any government can in 2 years plus. And I think this is testament to it. We have not, of course we've had clashes here and there, but we have always thought of a win-win. Now, we are the center of excellence in the heart of Africa. We are the center of, I cannot hear you, I'm sorry. We are the center of, in the heart of Africa. And so this standard of excellence is our responsibility. This standard of excellence calls us to show the way and to protect it. How can I be doing politics the same way it is done in the other universities if I am the center of excellence? Our nation is crying. The world is crying. We have wars, we have corruption, we have so many things happening. Where is the solution supposed to come from? If we want to copy from them and apply here, we are supposed to innovate from here and then share the ideas. And that is what we are about. So I call upon you that as the future is coming, as the 26th Guild government is taking shape, we should reject those that preach politics based on course. We should reject those that preach politics based on tribe, politics based on gender, politics based on baseless opposition. We should reject those. This is because we have no time. We absolutely have no time to delay. So as we are having our leaders here, let us task them to teach us, to show us, and to protect the way of excellence. I would like to thank, first and foremost, my guild officials, the speaker, the vice president, each and every one of you. You have done me so proud. You've done me so proud. I would also like to thank the Directorate of Student Affairs. It has changed so many times. The director has changed so many times, but the heart of the Directorate has always been with us. It has always been in one place, and we have been blessed to work with you. I would like to thank the administration as well, and our dear guests for training some of my officials, because after your conferences, they came back better and we moved faster. So thank you so much for this. As I conclude, I would like to point out a few things that maybe I didn't mention about Alpha. you are now seeing the rollout of Alpha 2.0. That is why this particular semester, our timetable is delayed. I told you that we are going to digitize everything, and it's here now. For those of you that are graduating with me next year, God willing, we shall clear online. All the operations of the next guild government, you will find it much easier when you're operating next year on Alpha. Computer labs in the halls of residence, they are coming up. You're seeing that Wi-Fi has issues. That is because they are making it stronger and it's going further and wider. So Wi-Fi, Alpha, digitization, that is all now done. It has not been easy. It has been with a great team. Now, so many people, and I say this with utmost humility, if Mr. Jeremy Medonu is around, I would like to say thank you. Jeremy Medonu, for those that did not know, was a presidential aspirant in my time, but he has been one of the biggest funds for this government, always supporting our activities, always giving us the advice. A round of applause for him in his absentia. Thank you so much, Jeremy. Now, so many people have asked and have requested that shouldn't I stand for our next term? And that is very interesting. But with this message that I have sent, I need to stand aside to wait for the response, because that's the only way I'll know if you've received it. This is the message I'm sending to you. It is to you, my beloved, and it is from me, the person who will always love you. My name is Dumba Timothy, and I'm the 25th Guild President of Uganda Christian University.
In solidarity, let's stand up. Let's all stand up. Thank you very much, Mr. President, for that report. I must say that as the 25th Guild officials, we are lucky and blessed to be under the leadership of His Excellency Dumba Timothy. He is a very humble gentleman. I must say that he is the first student in our university, and the rest of us are students. And yet, he demonstrates high levels of humility. Power has not corrupted him. And I'm so proud to work with you, sir. At this juncture, allow me, before I call our dear Dosa, let me recognize the presence of the different guild aspirants who are the sole beneficiaries of the message that our keynote speakers are going to share with us tonight. Our dear aspirants, please kindly be on your feet and wave to us. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for honoring our invitation and for taking this General Assembly seriously. I must say that our leadership is about service above self. And having you today join us on this occasion demonstrates a lot and speaks volumes about who you are going to be in the near future. I want to take this opportunity to welcome our dear Director of Student Affairs, Madame Pamela. As we all know, by virtue of Article 6 of the Uganda Christian University Guild Students Constitution, the office of the DOSA supervises all the activities of the Guild. And I must say that she is an amazing administrator. She has been on internship, and she is still having her internship. She normally jokes about that. She came in, and she has been quite of good support to us. Madam, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Based on that introduction, I might as well stand for one of the ministerial posts very soon. I hope you can vote for me. But I'm very grateful to all of you for coming for this General Assembly, especially to the incoming leadership. It's important that you learn actually your way around the corridors, because I think the outgoing government has done a good job. So I pray that you will learn to be as humble as our guild president and as diligent as he and his ministers have been. That's my prayer. I think, so this government, you have been my mentors. I've been telling them that with my newness in office, I needed serious orientation, and I think the first 3 weeks have been quite something. It's been quite something working with you. And I was telling the gentleman that, I think you guys will go far. I've worked with smart brains, and you have been pretty smart. I think you're very smart. And even through the arguments that we have sometimes, I actually think that you're going far, very far. You will rule this nation and the nations of the world, and that's where I want you to go. So I would like to thank delegates from the Julius Nyerere Leadership Center. Like I said, I'm a fresher. In my freshness, the first thing I had about from these very, very important officials was the Julius Nyerere Leadership Center and the very many good things that they learned. And it's my prayer that we shall continue this conversation. I'm mainly interested in a more serious partnership that will make you closer to us, more like family, so that we can continue mentoring these potential leaders together and seeing a bright future out of them. Thank you very much. UCU is known to be the center of excellence in the heart of Africa. And this is evidenced even through the testimonies that we've had from the outgoing government. It's my prayer that the incoming government will maintain and even outdo what we have seen. And it's my prayer that when you come and we are looking at you as ancestors, we shall be making you proud. You will say that the people we left behind really did a good job. So without taking more time, I would like to introduce the guests that are with us. First of all, I need you to put your hands together for the Julius Nyerere Leadership Center. Let's clap for them. They have done a tremendous job, and they've worked with so many young people with the drive of mentoring leaders, and they run so many wonderful courses, which I hope we can actually translate to our needs as UCU and bring here, so that what you do out there, you can do with us and we can grow and you become proud of us as well. So I'll introduce the various individuals we have. So I'm actually more excited because some of them are UCU alumni. I would like to introduce David Imolot, if you can stand up, sir. He's worked very much with youth leadership, development practice, and advocate for socio-economic development. And he's actually a close friend. He's been my friend on WhatsApp and a friend of Honors College. He's been a mentor to some of our students, and it's a privilege to finally meet you. And today he's going to be with us. It's a privilege to be with you today. Thank you so much, David. David is the chairperson of the Independent Continental Youth Advocacy Advisory Council on the African Continental Free Trade Area. Thank you, David. Then I will introduce Ivan Segawa. And it seems Ivan is already famous. He's extremely famous, as we can see. But Ivan is, he's the youth ambassador on the East African community. And he's been there since 2018. He's also the regional coordinator of the East African Community Youth Ambassadors Program. It's a privilege to be with you, Ivan. So I'm going to request Dr. Gardner Herbert Ratseka to stand up. So when we talk about UCU and ancestors of UCU, add him on that list. Please have a seat. He graduated from UCU. He's one of those people we are proud of. He holds a PhD in law. And actually, I'm enrolling him, I'm stealing him to come on as one of our mentors because I think we can benefit so much from him. He has a wide experience in mental health, emotional intelligence, thinking, and peak performance. And he likes working with young people. It will actually, I look forward to working with you. I haven't mentioned that, but it will be very good working with you. He's committed to shaping future leaders and creating a positive impact in society. I would also like to introduce Philip Mutabazi. Philip Mutabazi. Please have a seat. If you see where Philip is sitting, clearly UCU is a place for you. I pray you just stay. Philip is a communications and media specialist, and he works with the Julius Nyerere Leadership Center. Now, last but not least, I'm going to introduce to you an education specialist, a consultant, a monitoring and evaluation consultant, and this is none other than the executive director of the Julius Nyerere Leadership Center, Dr. Nasozi Kasalina Susan Mwanga. Dr. Nasozi holds a PhD in political science. She holds a master's in area studies and a bachelor's in political science. It's an honor to have you in Uganda Christian University, and I'm sure this is not your last visit. I think this visit brings you and you become part of us. The next time you come, you will be family and you will keep coming. That's what I look forward to doing. So this, when you talk about your achievements as a government, this is one of your big achievements because you have brought people on board who are not coming and going, but they're going to come and then they are going to stay. I thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you so much, Madam Dosa. Maybe before you take up your seat, because I do not have the right shoes to invite our invited guests, you will do us that honor to invite them. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Through you, Madam Speaker, I would like to take the greatest honor of the evening to invite you, Dr. Nasozi, to come and speak to us together with your team. Thank you very much.
As a sign of respect, kindly let us stand up as Doctor steps forward. Thank you very much. We can take up our seats.
My goodness, that's a huge introduction. Not sure whether I can fill the shoes, but Director of Student Affairs, Guild President, Your Excellency, Vice President, Your Excellency, Speaker, Deputy Speaker, Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, Chief Justice, and the entire Guild government. It's an honor to be with you this afternoon. Thank you very much for the invitation. It gives me great pleasure as the Executive Secretary and Director of the Julius Nyerere Leadership Center to join you at this Students' General Assembly of the Uganda Christian University 25th Guild Leadership. This is not least because of the importance that our center, the Julius Nyerere Leadership Center, attaches to the active role of young people like yourself and what you should be doing and ought to be doing in order to be able to shape the future not only of Uganda, but the entire East African region. In other words, our belief and our objective as the Julius Nyerere Leadership Center is to ensure that you take your place and are equipped to be able to do that. I therefore thank the UCU 25th Guild Speaker, Right Honorable Anyu Josephine, for inviting me to present a lecture on this General Assembly. An assembly such as this, where you seek to provide accountability to the electorate, is a step in the right direction. It shows that you are serious about insurance and being ensured that you are assuring the people that you lead, that you're able to lead them. I commend you, honorable members of this House, for this important gesture. Now, the invitation was specific. The invitation was for me to speak about servant leadership. But before I go into servant leadership, I wanted to just give a quick brief about the Julius Nyerere Leadership Center itself so that you are familiar with it, and also our understanding as a center of what it means to be a leader. Finally, of course, I will delve into the idea of servant leadership because this is at the core of what we train and what we teach those young people who are privileged to be part of the cohorts that we take into our training. The late Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere was a true patriarch and a very strong advocate of young generation being able to pick up the torch of African freedom from where his generation had actually left it, i.e., having achieved political freedom. And he was very passionate about their ability to carry this torch forward and to attain real development, and in so doing, being able to take their individual countries and their communities together with them. The Julius Nyerere Leadership Center was established on the initiative of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, in honor of the legacy of the late Mwalimu Julius Nyerere. Launched in 2018, the Julius Nyerere Leadership Center has since its inception had three ambitious objectives. One, to conduct policy-leading research that aspires to bridge that gap between academia and actual practice and policies. Two, to foster cross-generational conversations and dialogues on African history, Pan-Africanism, unity, in order to be able to have some kind of an idea of an aligned objective about the plans for the future. Thirdly, to conduct leadership training, not any kind of leadership training, but a very specific kind of leadership training of new and emerging generations of African leaders, like yourselves. Therefore, the center serves as an important initiative, not only to Makerere University, but to society at large, because it is able to groom and equip young leaders like yourselves with the moral compass for leadership and also a willingness to serve. We've had enormous feedback, very positive feedback from many of you who were part of our recent training in collaboration with UNDP. And we are confident that what we have set out as our curriculum for leadership training is the one that will be able to deliver on both the moral compass as well as a willingness to serve. Now, at this point, of course, it's important to point out the obvious, the elephant in the room, that the future of Africa, and at home, the future of Uganda is very much in your hands. It's in your hands because you are young. It is in your hands because you are the ones who are the torchbearers going forward. However, in order to harness the most important aspects of transformative leadership, which is what we expect, you cannot achieve this unless as young people, you are equipped with the necessary skills, your sets that all leaders need to have to enable you to forge solid partnerships, to lead, as well as the ability to lead with integrity. Sitting here and listening to the reports that have been given this afternoon by the different ministers and the different groups and individuals of this administration gives me hope that actually we are on the right track. Because sometimes when you do something, you wonder whether you are on the right track. Are we doing the right thing? Are we really training the young people to have the kind of moral compass that is necessary? But the fact that your own president has been able to provide the kind of accountability that is so rare in a lot of institutions. And the fact that you have been able to give a feedback that he has led not only with humility, but also with integrity, means that we are on the right track in trying to provide the kind of leadership training that is necessary for young people to lead. Now, leadership broadly defined can be understood in two ways. It could be understood as a pattern of behavior. It could also be understood as personal attributes. But as a pattern of behavior, leadership is the influence exerted by an individual, the ability of an individual to exert to a larger body in a direct and indirect way towards achieving certain desired goals. This is best illustrated by the idea of a supervisor and a supervisee. Now, that kind of relationship is one where you are supervised in order to be able to achieve certain goals, whether it's for an organization, whether it's for an association, whether it's for a community. However, as a personal trait and as a personal attribute, leadership refers to character traits that enable a leader to exert influence over others. For those of you who are in a team of sports, whether you play football, whether you play rugby, whether you play basketball, you know that leadership is essential. Just at the point when you're about to give up, just at the point where you imagine that you are losing the game, the ability of your leader, the ability of your captain to push you forward to the finish line and to fight to be able to win at the whistle means that you are receiving not only the influence of that leader, but the ability of that leader not only to influence you, but to be able to lead with a certain amount of persuasion. So, by and large, we know, therefore, that the key functions of a leader are, and I think the president rightly pointed out, set goals, organize, guide, coordinate, and to a certain extent, manage. Those are things that a leader is supposed to do. But in doing those things, there are different styles of leadership. There are different ways in which you can achieve setting goals. You can coordinate in a particular way. You can manage in a different way. And all that can be done differently depending on who you are and the choices you make in terms of the kind of leadership that you want. There's the autocratic kind of leadership where it's command and control. There's the democratic leadership style where everybody has a say, but sometimes things do not get done. There's, of course, the laissez-faire type of a leadership style where, it's a hands-off and by and large the leader is reluctant to interfere in matters outside of his or her jurisdiction. There's, of course, the transactional leadership, and I think we heard a little bit about that, in terms of the transactional kind of leadership tends to go south to a certain extent because it does breed a certain level of corruption, if one might say. And then there is the transformational leadership style. The leader is inspired by a vision, by goals, and is able to mobilize the people under his or her leadership to achieve that particular vision. My question to you, not those who are outgoing, but those who are incoming, what is your leadership style? Which one of these leadership styles describes how you want to do things going forward? I would suggest, and having been asked to speak specifically about servant leadership, that transformational leadership is very, very closely aligned to servant leadership. And I'm going to explain why. The term servant leadership was coined a long time ago, whereby the servant as a leader embodies the philosophy that the goal of a leader is to serve others other than themselves. A servant leader puts the needs of the people under his or her leadership first and helps them to grow and perform as highly as possible. Listening to the submissions that you have made, I was actually very, I'm trying to find the right word, but I was taken aback because I've worked with students for the last 40 years. I've taught at Makerere for 38 years. And I was taken aback because I could see a structure that allows individuals to grow and be able to lead in their own right. There was no autocracy. The president was able to give his vision, but there were individuals who were able to also be able to give reports of what they were able to do under his guidance and based on a vision that was shared. I was really very encouraged, although I was taken aback because I wasn't expecting it. Now, the servant leadership thrives on 7 key principles. Those principles are: 1, honor the people under your leadership before yourself. Inspire a vision before you set the course. Choose ethics before you look at profit. Empower the people under your leadership before your personal gain. Privilege the people under your leadership before assigning tasks. Balance the focus between flexibility before making decisions. Above all, be able to serve with humility before all else. Now, there are many ways to achieve this. And listening to you today tells me you already have a blueprint. You may need to tweak it here and there, but you already have a blueprint. Because each individual minister was able to describe what they did, which means that they were empowered. The fact that they were able to give a record of what they were able to do in terms of actual activities, in terms of actual outputs, suggests that they were able to do this without looking at funding. When the president talked about not having funding for 3 months, was it, at the beginning, I thought, interesting. That brings me to my own story and the Julius Nyerere Leadership Center. We were initiated or inaugurated in 2018. And the team you see there and then a larger team which we've left behind worked pro bono almost for 4 years before we got any funding, because we actually believed in the importance of what we were doing. I'm not suggesting that this is what you should do, but I was taken aback when I listened to the fact that there was no funding, but nonetheless, it was not an excuse not to perform. That phrase is going to be a catchphrase for me from now on. No excuse. No money, no excuse. It's going to be a catchphrase. There are 4 steps to develop into a better servant leader? You must encourage diversity of thought. You have to steer clear of stereotypes that attempt to classify people as us and them, or them and us. I waited to hear when they're saying, what are our 3 tribes? And I was really, really fascinated, the fact that the 3 tribes had nothing to do with tribes, but the ability to be able to encourage diversity and be able to use it to the maximum. The second thing that in the 4 steps is that you create a culture of trust. You have to earn the trust of those you lead, and equally, those you lead must trust you that you're taking them in the right way, that the direction that you're taking and the vision that you're articulating is the vision that will take them to where they need to be, not only as individuals, but also as people who are part and parcel of your team. Thirdly, you must have an unselfish mindset. Servant leaders esteem others better than themselves. Oftentimes, we have a problem in organizations, even within communities, where there's a boss lady or boss man mentality, where you must be the one who knows it all. The fact is that you don't. And your ability to inspire others and to ensure that you give not only credit where credit is due, but also encourage that diversity of thought, that you are actually becoming the servant leader. You are able to foster leadership in others. You are not the only leader. Yes, you may have the vision, but you must carry others with you in order to be able to do certain things. And yes, you must delegate a few roles based on the strengths of the different people who you have in your team. Now, servant leadership occurs when leaders' main goal and responsibility is to provide service to their people. And I'm emphasizing it not because I don't think you know what I'm talking about, but I'm emphasizing it because if you put others before yourself in leading, not only would you have been able to fulfill the wider vision, but you will also be able to exercise most of the traits and abilities of a servant leader. Mwalimu Kambarage Nyerere is a towering African leader. He will always be remembered and missed for his cracking wisdom, of course, but his unwavering commitment to African causes and the state of leadership on the continent, to the point whereby he was willing to forego his own country's independence to wait for the independence of others in the neighborhood, Uganda and Kenya. Finally, the functional attributes of a servant leader. The functional attributes of a servant leader are vision, honesty, integrity, self-sacrifice, trust, modeling, pioneering, appreciation, empowerment, empathy, listening, persuasion, stewardship, foresight, and above all, communication and delegation. Therefore, as a servant leader, you will serve your country first, you will serve the people under you, under your leadership next, and you will serve yourself last. I wish to conclude at this juncture to take note of the fact that in order for the Julius Nyerere Leadership Center to build leadership capacity amongst young people, which is what we have decided is our mandate, and this is what we do on a daily basis, thinking about different ways and creating ways in order to do that. We have had to be able to draw on a wide variety of approaches, and to be able to tap into extensive research and training experiences of facilitators. I am honored to be able to say that I am the Executive Secretary of the Julius Nyerere Leadership Center, that I lead a team of no less than 17 people who do different things and do them brilliantly as individuals and as people in their own right. Today, I have traveled with only 4 of that team, 4 members of that team. Not because the others didn't come, but we weren't sure whether there would be enough lunch for all of us. So we decided that the others would stay behind and we would go ahead and have a quick look and see whether we'd be able to come back another time to see you. Finally, I wish to extend an open invitation to you, past leaders, present leaders, future leaders at UCU, distinguished students, to feel free to take part in any of our trainings, which have now become mandatory for Makerere University students if they want to stand for leadership positions. But we encourage you to be able to take part in them. Use our research resources that we hope to complete and finalize soon. This will not only benefit you, but it will support our effort as the Julius Nyerere Leadership Center to empower, to mentor, and to promote collaboration amongst East African youth as we nurture them to become transformative leaders in public, private, and non-private spaces within their different countries. I thank you all for listening to me, and I wish you the best.
Thank you so much. I think as a sign of respect and humility, let's all stand up and join our hands to thank Dr. Doctor, thank you so much. Let's take up our seats. Thank you so much, Dr. Susan, for accepting. Thank you so much for accepting to honor our invitation. And I must say that we are not going to be the same. And I am so happy for our brothers and sisters who have declared intention to run for the various positions. I believe that this is the only gift that we would give you as the 25th Guild government. And we pray that whatsoever Doctor has shared with us, you inculcate it in your leadership journey, and you will never remain the same again. I want to attest to the fact that I am among the beneficiaries of the Julius Nyerere Leadership Training Programs. I had an opportunity, together with a team of other 9 Guild officials, if I may, please, if you benefited from these programs, please kindly stand up. You may take up your seats. We're a team of 10 Guild officials. We had 5 student leaders going in for the first cohort and then the other 5. And I mean, we have really benefited, and here we are. And we are looking forward to continued mentoring from the team from Julius Nyerere. I know that when the guest speaker speaks, no other person can, but still, I want to call upon our dear Dosa to again come forward and invite our next speakers, because I do not have that capacity to invite them. Thank you very much, Madam Dosa.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Honorable members in the House, allow me to take this opportunity to invite our very own guests. We've introduced them already, but I'm going to invite them in this order. David Emolot. He will be followed by our diplomat, our international diplomat, Mr. Ivan Segawa, who will be followed by our Don, our Lord Don, Dr. Gardiner. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All protocol observed, first of all, and thank you so much, UCU Guild, for putting this together. This is quite amazing. I think you should clap for yourselves. Mine won't really be much, but I know if you were an ardent listener to Doctor's speech, that is just enough for you to go retire or hand over. It's very explicit. I don't want to dilute it with my own words. But I think I should start, first of all, by apologizing. You may see I am on my laptop behind there. We have an event starting in about 30 minutes in Cairo. So I am virtually present. So that's why you see I'm trying to firefight on my laptop. But I've been listening, and I just have a few remarks. To our outgoing guild leaders, what she didn't say, what our DOSA didn't say, is that just like yourselves, I was the student guild vice president during Amongin's time. I don't know how many know Amongin. Exactly. So mine is to say that, when you're given chance to serve, it becomes a stepping stone for you to make better your own life, to make better your own leadership skills. And it's also an opportunity for you to network. I always love saying this, especially when I'm talking to our leaders, that it's good to have a first-class degree, but that first-class degree without the right networks cannot take you anywhere. That doesn't mean you should fail. You should get it. Get the first-class degree, but get the right networks. And what does leadership do? Leadership helps you get those networks. I always tell people that while at campus, I know I was at the Honors College, our DOSA told you, even with my first-class degree, life is tricky. You can never get employment, even with your first-class degree. But what helped me, and I always love giving this information to our leaders, that when you blend leadership, servant leadership, with academic excellence, your life becomes easy. You will never look for a job. I want to tell you that I'm one of those people who have never looked for a job. I've never canvassed for a job somehow or anyhow. I used my guild leadership network. Depending on how you use it, it's now upon you. And unfortunately, this one comes at the tail end of your career. But for the incoming ones, this message is for you. But for us who are going out, I know there's a lot that you've learned during your time of leadership. The accountability that you've been doing here, please carry it on. The servant leadership, which is more important, please carry it on. And the goal is to see that when you eventually join us in the outside, you are a representation of the UCU core values. I don't know how many know the core values. Electoral Commission. That should be the question. These people want to become the guild leaders. Ask them the core values. If they can't answer, let them go aside. So those core values then become, the anchor to your leadership journey. And it's very important for us to keep carrying on. I should tell you, right now, of course, I'm with Julius Nyerere, and then also the regional level at the African Union. But those are the core values that I keep running with. They have shaped me, they have influenced all the decisions I'm making, and they are making me a better person. I'm not yet there. I know people will say, hey, you are there. I'm not yet there, but I will get there. And it's the same thing with you. If you live here very intentional, as you are with the, very smart today, you will also get there. So my message to you is let's keep these values. Let's keep moving with them. Let's keep reciting them in our minds, and especially when we're interfacing with people, let's be very intentional. You don't know who you're talking to, no matter how they look like. Let's be very intentional in our engagements, and that will be the beginning point of success in our own lives. Again, this leadership journey is a stepping stone to something bigger and better. It may not be in the country. Like myself, it may be out of the country, or even out of the continent for you. So let's be intentional, and let's see how to move forward. So as I conclude, is to again give it back to you and to our Excellency that you have done a great job. Your speech alone, I could feel the Obama in you. I was like, this is very moving. And I'm telling you, I was discussing with my brother Sebastian that as we speak right now, our country has a crisis of servant leaders. And listening to us present our budgets, listening to us present our accountability, I can be certain if we continue being intentional as we are, we as a country, we are in the right direction. All we need to do is let's not allow to give up. Let's not give up. Most of us always want to give up, but let's not give up. Let's build on what we have learned to make our country better. This country is ours. I would want Dr. Susie to enjoy her retirement without getting worried of tomorrow she's running away because of the war. But it's us here who should ensure that her retirement is secured. Not also only hers, but also our own stability is secured. So it starts with us. Let's not shy away. I always want to encourage us, if that position is vacant, let's go for it. Don't shy away to apply for it. Let's go for it. We will mobilize, we will support as much as we can. So allow me end here and just thank those who are those aspirants. Please also be intentional. You've had our people here. They've given the accountability. I have not had the balance of the money that has remained. Maybe I should befriend the finance minister, but at least that should be the spirit. The incoming people, let's use the same spirit to ensure that we drive not only the university forward, not only the Mukono municipality forward, because I know we are very good at the municipality here, but our country. UCU is a national-wide and a continental university. Let's continue preaching those core values. Asante sana.
Thank you so much, Mr. Emolot.
At this juncture, let me also welcome Doctor, as our Sebastian is.
Hello, everyone. Yes, I'm not used to speaking on fixed microphones. You know, teachers, we keep moving, tapping to see those ones who are sleeping. But I'm going to be a little bit honored and respect you. I'm not going to move. My name is Raxeta Herbert Gardner. I was here in 2011, and I'm a lawyer by profession as well. But I found my passion in mind education and conscious leadership. I was very, very honored when I heard we're coming to UCU. I was like, wow, I'm going back to my roots, you know? But I used to sit in those seats as you, some time back. But you know, just like how the rain and the winds come, they settle and leave. You're going to leave. You've been in office, I think for how many months? 10 months. But I want to challenge the people seated, the incumbent, the gentleman in a blue shirt and a gray tie. What book are you reading? Yes, book. Are you reading any book other than academics? Any book outside academics? Maybe a leadership book, a personal development book. Which book are you reading? Public speaking. Amazing. Then this gentleman as well. What book are you reading? Why Nations Fail. I need a lady who is, yes. What book are you reading? The lady, yes, you. Pardon? Rich Network. I can't hear you. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. Okay. Malcolm X once said that if you want to hide anything from Africans, put it in a book. as a leader, if you're not reading, you won't lead. I'll repeat, as a leader, if you're not reading, you won't lead. Every challenge, every problem we are facing has been written about. We are not inventing the wheel anymore. The challenges you're facing here may be trapped in a book that is just on the shelf of your roommate that you can't fail to read. And many of us have excuses because we are busy being busy that we don't know how to read or we cannot read. Guys, no. Excuses are for losers. There are podcasts. There are programs. There are book reviews. Instead of running, putting on music, run listening to a podcast. Because you need that knowledge. We know that knowledge is power, but I find that statement half true. It's the applicability of that knowledge that is your superpower. How much do you know that you're not using? So as I heard His Excellency speak, I would tell that he's a reader. If you can stand and you want to influence people and you cannot even quote one thing, who will follow you? Influence. Right? So I'd urge you, spare some time. It's never the lack of time, it's the lack of planning. Because we are all credited with 24 hours. But how we use it differentiates us. The second thing I want to urge you, my brother Omlot talked about social capital and our ED talked about social capital. It's quite important. There's this common phrase, the gamba no goose. You can be knowing the gamba no goose. But let me tell you what is interesting. Character will either keep you there or bring you down. We have had this in our parliament and we have seen leaders that have fallen. Not because they don't have the social capital, no, they had people that put them there. But because their character failed them. And it's not, we can't measure your character based on what you have now. No. It is after you've gotten what you have that you tend to prove who you are. I was so much impressed when I heard most of you coming here giving accountabilities for the things you've done. I didn't hear somebody say, hey, you know what? No, this guy embezzled our funds. Right? And you don't wait for opportunities to grow your character. You grow your character and opportunities will come. I'll repeat. You grow your character and opportunities will come. And finally, communication. Communication. We have seen great things, be them negative or positive, being done by communication. Hitler was a very good communicator. But we know what happened. Osama bin Laden was a very good communicator. That's how he managed to organize the things he organized. Our own Kambarage Julius Nyerere was a very good communicator. Mahatma Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, Patrice Lumumba, all these great Africans were good communicators. But remember, you cannot communicate unless you have the information you've read, you've understood, and you can analyze and you can pass it on. We have all these free accesses to internet. But I'll tell you, it's not the access that gives us the information. It's the willingness to acquire the information. How do you spend your time? TikToking, Facebooking, WhatsApping? Yes, that's social capital. But you should start passing on the agenda that you believe in. If you go on our Twitter handles of the Julius Nyerere Leadership Center, you realize that every day there is something developmental we're posting. And we don't just post. It's because we have read, understood, and we find it of value that we want to give out to others. So it's until you're able to communicate, you're able to read, then life for you as a leader will be smooth. And you keep your character intact, because that's the foundation. With those three principles, I'll leave you with a quote. The greatest discovery in our lifetime is not the oils in Congo. In Iran or Kuwait. The greatest discoveries of a lifetime are not the diamonds in Burkina Faso. The greatest discoveries of a lifetime are not the pearls in the Atlantic Ocean or the Indian Ocean. The greatest discovery of a lifetime is not the gold in the DRC, but the greatest discovery of our lifetime is that you and me can change our lives by changing our consciousness. If we can only be conscious of what is, that's when we are able to relate and look at challenges and look at problems and come up to solve them. If you can only remember that, your life will be better enough. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gardner.
Let me have the honor, introducing ambassadors, to invite one and only our own ambassador in the building, Sebastian. Can take the podium.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gardner, for the introduction. Right Honorable Speaker, allow me stand on the protocol that has already been laid. Good evening, everyone. My name is Sebastian, Segawa Ivan Sebastian, as mentioned. I am no longer the ESC Youth Ambassador to Uganda. I have good news for you that the current Deputy ESC Youth Ambassador to Uganda is now an alumnus of UCU. She just graduated from the cohort from last year. Yes, Her Excellency Princess Nobata Nshuti, currently in Nairobi, and I have seen that many of the leaders here are always overseas on mission, so that should not come as a shock to you. But I'm starting with that, also noting the diversity of the people in this audience, to add to what everyone has said, both to the people that are leaving office and to those that are aspiring to these offices, that as a country, we can never descend into the indecency of identity politics, politics of identity. It should always be the politics of ideology. The President has alluded to it, the very eloquent Dr. Susie has spoken to it, and the subsequent speakers. Let's not take that for granted. But also, the diversity we have here should encourage us, and this is going to be a very selfish comment, but it should encourage us to pursue the integration of the East African community. It is no secret that in the ESC, majority of us are young people. We are the building block of this community. And we know very well that the community is built on a people-centeredness. It is important that we keep that at heart. And as the majority, we are the drivers of this integration. Let's take interest. But now, we come into the conversation of leadership. I am going to briefly share with you how leaders of this country, of this region, and of this continent usually are born. For many, at times, you will realize that nearly all our leaders have their history deeply rooted in university leadership, which means that the leadership that is espoused within the university setting is ultimately reflected into the national sphere. And I'm very excited when I heard people giving account of what they did, even in the limited time, in such eloquent manner. It showed very good hope for what we have in the future. And my request to you now is, please, please, please do not give up. You are the leaders we need for tomorrow. Do not let this journey end here for those that are leaving office. And for those that are aspiring, the bar has been set quite high, I may add. So much that UCU alumnus are everywhere in this country, starting from State House to leadership in ministries to now the ESC. Therefore, when you come to take up leadership, it's not a light thing that you are taking up. It's a responsibility. It's big shoes that you are going to fill. Today, I cannot speak much, Your Right Honorable Speaker, because it is not my place to speak, but also, how do I speak after what Dr. Susie has said? But all I want to say, and the only thing I want to leave with you, is that a lot of good happens to us in our lives. My request to you is that always pay forward the good that has been done to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, all our esteemed guests. Thank you for sharing with us quite deep insights regarding leadership. And I can only pray that we'll be in position to build and grow our leadership in line with the different principles that you have shared with us tonight. As young people, we are the torchbearers of the next future. And what better way to equip and empower us? Giving us this knowledge, giving us this wisdom about leadership is the best gift that you have given to us. And we don't take it for granted. And we want to say that thank you. And we are looking forward to a continued partnership with Julius Nyerere Leadership Center. As a culture in this great institution, whenever a guest visits us, or whenever we have a visitor at home, we show them gratitude for what they have shared with us and for taking time to be part of us. We have prepared something small for the team, and I want to call upon our dear Dosa to step forward and hand over our small gifts of gratitude to the Julius Nyerere team. Doctor, please kindly step forward to receive the small gift of appreciation that we have for you and your team. We'll have Dr. Gardner stepping in forward on behalf of the gentlemen. Thank you very much. Oh. Thank you very much. Now, next on our agenda, we are going to have a closing prayer. But before that, allow me to stand up on my feet. I'm going to move to the podium and say something brief. It's just a sign of humility. On behalf of the 25th Guild Government, allow me with great humility, one, to extend our sincere gratitude to the Directorate for the support, for the guidance, for the continuous support that you render to us as the 25th Guild Government. We wouldn't have reached this far if you weren't there. May the Almighty God bless you. And we pray that the incoming leaders shall have an amazing leadership experience under your guidance. Secondly, I want to extend my gratitude to the Julius Nyerere team. Thank you for honoring our invitation. Thank you for making UCU a choice for you to be tonight. It is something that we don't take for granted. And we continue to humbly appeal to you to build and empower the next generation of leaders to come in this great institution. Send our love back to the people who work with you in Julius Nyerere Leadership Center, and feel at home always with us. And then to the UCU Students Fraternity, on behalf of the 25th Guild Government, I want to say that thank you for being a great team, a family that has given us a platform to grow in our leadership. Thank you for enduring, and most importantly, for always being understanding. We may not have been able to deliver to the best that you people expected, but for the little that we have been able to do, we thank God for that. And most importantly, to us as a government, these leadership spaces have created for us a new brotherhood, a new sisterhood. We have gotten to relate with different students, and you have touched our lives in quite different ways. You have pushed us to work hard. You have pushed us to believe in the right cause. And most importantly, you have constantly reminded us that leadership is not about positions, but it is about service above self. As we get to leave office quite very soon, we are open to continue working with you, and we pray that together we will build this great institution. And I also want to appeal to you, when the new leaders are sworn in, please show them the love and respect. Guide them, show them all the corridors. Thank you, and may the Almighty God bless you. I'm going to give 3 minutes of our time for reactions. I know that the agenda has been quite jumbled, but we shall take only 3 minutes to have students respond. Please kindly step forward and
You're right, Honorable Speaker. Through you, allow me first salute my president, guild president. I salute you, sir. Growing up, I thought role models were people that we used to hear from America. When I was still young, I thought my role model was Martin Luther King. But when I came to UCU, I saw my role model has changed to Dumba Timothy. I want to salute you so much. Without wasting time, I am Eliashib Omugisha, an LLB2 student, and I would have done myself a disservice if I continue this without recognizing what the Deputy Minister of Education, Ruanga Ezra, what you've done with your minister has been good. So I want to start this by complimenting and applauding the guild government, the 25th guild government. You've really done a very good job, but with slight loopholes that I would pledge to put forward to see what you could do to maybe ignite the incoming leaders, or if you guys are still in power, what you could really change about a few things. I don't know if I could address this to the Prime Minister and maybe the Education Minister. This is about the tuition policies. Last semester, there's what to me looked unfair, the two weeks ultimatum that came through from the DVC's office, F&A, telling students to clear up 100% tuition, or else they would miss papers. I think failure to clear tuition would be not having money. If I have failed to pay to 100% and you again give me a dead year, my problem formerly was tuition. You've now given me another dead year. Still, I don't see what would have helped someone who failed to pay tuition and you told them to have a dead year. So if my problem was tuition and you're giving me another dead year, how will that help someone who has not been able to raise tuition at the first instance? I feel like you would have poured salt in a fresh cut wound. I addressed that to the Prime Minister and the Minister of Education. And then this also goes to the, when we were young, I had a saying, there was always a saying that work without play makes Tom a dull boy. I would address this to the Culture Ministry. After the Culture Gala, I think I was so interactive with people that were involved in the Culture Gala. So after that, maybe some thought I was maybe involved in the culture things. Some cultures did not get a chance to perform. And the other things, some cultures were totally off topic. I want to know, this would basically go to Itungo. What have you done to promote, or what will you do to promote culture, since work without play makes Tom a dull boy? Through you, the Right Honorable Speaker, I request to submit.
Thank you so much. I think his were more of like general in nature, but maybe perhaps we would have Honorable Okello come in 1 minute to respond to that aspect of the tuition policy that came up, just in 1 minute. How have you been able to handle that?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I would not want to say that let my Prime Minister come and address this issue, but allow me to say that, yeah, that policy came out, but it's not that we're dormant about it and we didn't have any knowledge about it, but we tried to look in and have discussions with the administration. That is why you found out that after some time, the beginning of this semester, we had to look for ways of compensating and registering those students who missed exams. And that's why we came out afterwards and they did exams. So these policies, yeah, they came from the above. Initially, the information I got was that the university is trying to get back to its original, initially before COVID, that's how it has been running. So it's a way of how we can encourage one another so that you can have at least these payments made early. Yeah? I don't know whether I've answered you. Maybe Madam Dosta would help me more about these policies. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Kello. I believe that he has answered. And in case of anything, if you feel you need more information, please kindly feel free to engage us. Let me have the second person. Please be direct to the point, be mindful of time.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. In the very beginning, you said the UCU Guild is composed of all students, including me, as long as I'm registered. So, this assembly is to provide accountability to us, the students. And you said the financial report is a very vital issue for us, the students. We would like to know how much was allocated to each ministry. We want to know how much we have now. We want to know how much did the Office of the President receive and how much we have at the account now. Because when the financial officer comes and he just makes a statement, I'm an engineer, so when you call the financial officer, my mind was full of figures. So I want to know these figures. It's not a matter of making a statement that we did this, we did this, we did this. No. We have 216 million. How was it budgeted for? We want to know. This is accountability. You said it in the very beginning.
Thank you so much.
Then also, one point only.
In 2 seconds, thank you.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. In 2019, we had an issue of COVID, which affected most of the institutions. But UCU was not affected. It was not affected. We continued with online studies. And we did not stop on that. We made it a blended institute, whereby we have online lectures, submission of assignments are online, submission of tests online, you have physical lectures. So Then they later introduced 45% registration. In engineering, where I'm coming from, they block Moodle. So when you block Moodle, you don't submit your online assignments. You don't submit your online tests, meaning you're not going to be assessed. You have failed coursework. At the end of it all, you pay the late payment fee, 50,000. Then you clear all the fees. After clearing all the fees, you have failed coursework just because Moodle was blocked.
Please kindly go directly to the point.
So we need to know all this.
Thank you very much. Let me have Honorable Joan respond to the issue of culture, and then I think the issue of the policy, the Minister of Education responded to that. And again, this is not the end of it. We are going to avail to you a written report of the different ministries. Honorable Joan, please kindly step forward. In the interest of time, we'll have to release very soon our invited guests. So we need to sum this event up.
Good evening to you all. So the gentleman asked how, as the good leaders, how are we planning to build cultural associations, if I got the question right? So I want to bring you to our notice that the culture gala happened and it was a colorful one, though some associations didn't participate and some associations withdrew in the due process of participating. What was the cause of this? Most of us come from different cultures. We belong to different associations. And I would encourage each one of us to be a forefront fighter for our different cultures. How? As you're choosing the culture heads, where we are not with the good leaders, make sure that you choose people who are very active, people who are going to develop your associations, and people who are going to present you when it's time for culture gala. It so happens that some cultures get leaders who are not willing to work, and sometimes these cultures, as people are outgoing, the leaders hand over even separately, and you even don't know who your culture heads are. I'm so glad to present before my facilitators or my mentors, and one quote that I would say is that Julius Nyerere once said that unity will not make us rich as Africans, but it will protect Africans from being disregarded and humiliated. And as cultural leaders, let's look at this as a form of unity within the university, not a form of being humiliated or disregarded. I encourage you all, when they call up participation or meetings, endeavor to come up and participate in your different associations, because at the end of the day, it's the culture that benefits, it's your culture to celebrate, and all of us, we can be united and benefit from the sources from the good government. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Joan. Maybe just to respond on my brother's question in regards to the issue of finances. As a guild government, we are open to have the students get to have access to a copy of the approved budget. The DOSA has a copy of the approved budget. Likewise, the guild speaker has a copy of the approved budget. So at any time between now and the time we shall hand over, feel free to walk into the guild square and ask any official. We shall share with you the copy of the budget. And then let me have one question from Mr. Achaye, and please be straight to the point. One question.
Yes, thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Mine is not so much of a question, but I want to start by saying a very simple quote from Norbert Mao when he said that once a dagger is thrown at you, you either choose on how to seize it. You either seize it by the blade or you seize it by the handle. One thing I want to thank about this government, this is not time to complain about the government. I've engaged with the government in a lot of issues. And I really want to thank Mr. Dumba, Timothy, and the Prime Minister for really being open to me. And mostly I want to thank the PR of the Guild, because she's always the first lady, she's always a strong lady. She's always the first lady to, I can say, to receive all our concerns through the social medias, because she's the handler. And I believe it is not enough for me to thank this government, because what they have done to the students' body, it's something that I must appreciate. I've been in touch each and every time with them. There are times we clash and really come on board and address the great issues for the students' body.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your compliments.
Yes, I appreciate. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for enduring to remain until this time. We are now going to our last activity or item on the order paper. Second last, let me say. We'll have one honorable member lead us in a closing prayer, and then we shall have the anthems sung in reverse order. And then after here, all the guild officials, we shall go to Bishop Tucker building and have a photo shoot with our guests before they leave. Please, Honorable Akoraje, give us a closing prayer.
Okay, I'll be giving a closing prayer, but not the anthems. Let's have ourselves for a prayer. Yeah, thank you. God, we thank you for the gift of life that you have given us. We thank you for having guided us through this government. We pray for our guest speakers and everyone that has shared with us. We pray that you come and guide us as we put everything that we have learned today into practice. God, come and guide us through the remaining days of our government so that we can do everything according to your teachings and your guidance. We pray for all the government officials as they do their work in the remaining days, that they will always reflect it on your word. God, in the same spirit, I pray for the incoming government and the different people that are aspiring, that you guide them in whatever they are doing as they are campaigning and they come into power, because we believe that leadership comes from you, God. We thank you for having guided us through this time of our office, and we pray that you guide us as we finish our term. God, I pray all this, believing and trusting. In Jesus' name. Amen.
Let's all stand up for the anthems. Honorable Constance, please lead us. The anthem shall be sung in reverse order.
To God be the glory, great things he so loved thee, the world, that he gave us his Son, who yielded his life and atonement for sins. Life gave that all may go in. Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. Let the earth hear his voice. Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. Let the people rejoice. Oh, come to the Father.
twaomba uilinde Jumuiya Afrika Mashariki, tuwezeshe kuishi kwa amani, tutimize na malengo yetu. Tu sote tuilinde, tuwajibike, tuimarike, umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu. O Uganda, may God uphold thee. We lay our future in thy hand. United, free for liberty, together we'll always stand.
Thank you so much, honorable members. Let's please hurry the other side. Let not our guests reach there before us. Let's all head up the other side for a photo.
Many generations past, but your kingdom forever lasts.